Can I have it? For the sun, stars, oceans, and all the trees, I'll consider it. Are you kidding me? That leaves me with just the flowers, Noah. Okay, trees, stars, oceans, fine. And the sun, Jude? Alright, I'll give you the sun.
Hi guys, this is May and today I'm going to do a review about I'll Give You the Sun by Danny Nelson. This is a spoiler-free review, so if you haven't read this book, you are good to go. So I'll Give You the Sun follows two brothers, twins, Jude and Noah, and it's a dual perspective. So we see, from the first part of the book, we see the perspective of Noah when they're 13 years old. And basically, Jude and Noah are the best of friends. They love each other so much and they share everything. They basically are like one body, one mind, one soul. We go 3 years later and a tragedy happened to this family. And we see from Jude's perspective. And unfortunately, and unfortunately, they are not as close as they used to be. They are not close at all. They don't even talk. I'll Give You the Sun is a story basically about life and humans, and how we as humans do mistakes, but at the same time we love with passion and we want things and we dream. A story of decisions and how a human can grow as a person, and how we at the same time can do really horrible things and actions, but there's always a reason for it. Something that I love about this book is that art is basically like another character. Art is such an important part of the life of Jude and Noah that it doesn't just seems like a hobby or something that you do. It's basically a part of them and of their personalities, and it's so important in their life. Something that I really love about this book is that you really relate with the characters. Well, because it is a dual perspective. While you're reading from Noah's perspective, you understand Noah so well. You know what he does, the things that he does. You understand where he's coming from. And then he gets mad with Jude. You get mad with Jude too. You're like, oh god, why does she do the thing that she does? But then you read from Jude's perspective and you understand. And you get mad at Noah. You're like, Jesus, Noah, stop doing what you're doing. So you really relate to them. And it's not hard for you to basically fall in love with them. And all the characters in this book are so unique and so important. Not all of the characters are unique. There's some characters that are basically your normal type of girl, or I don't know, but they're important to the story, and you're reading about them, you understand why Jude and Noah are doing the things that they are doing. But the characters that are unique are basically the most important characters. They're so beautiful and they're so different from each other, but at the same time they complement each other so well. They're not unrealistic. There's a lot of metaphor in this book. So Noah would say something kind of really poetic way, but it makes sense, and it was so well done and so beautiful. And also the way they expressed about people that they care about, it was so beautiful. And again, it was well done. It wasn't like overreacting, or it wasn't overdoing it. It was so well done and so beautiful that while you were reading about this character, and for example, Noah would be like, this person is so beautiful, and express the feeling that he had about this person in a really metaphoric, kind of poetic way. It was just so well done and so breathtaking, if that makes sense. But at the same time, it was really simple and not like, okay, this is just too cheesy. Jude, for example, she's really superstitious, and even if don't believe in superstitions, you relate to her, because everyone has like their tiny kind of way of superstitions. She would do these crazy things, and I understand her, because everyone put their feelings on an object, for example, or an action. For example, this ring to me brings me good luck, but it's probably all in my head, but it brings me good luck. And Jude would put like on an orange these feelings and these ideas, and it'd be like, okay, if I have this orange, this will happen. And while you're reading, you're like, this is kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's so human. I think humans really put all their like ideas and hope sometimes in objects. Also, there's so much love in this book. It's kind of like mind-blowing. And with love, and I mean all type of relationships. So you have from your mom and daughter relationship, that be Rocky and your dad and son relationship, and dad and daughter, and mom and son and brothers relationship. And if you have a brother or a sister, the bond of siblings, it really shows in this book. So while I was reading it, I have an older sister. I was like, yes, I would do that for her. Or sometimes I would be like, yeah, if she pisses me off, I have done horrible things to her too. So yeah, the relationship about family is really important in this book, and I love it. But at the same time, we also have relationship about friendship and all that. And we see how basically when they're 13, they're realizing that they want a relationship. And while you're reading it, I could really relate with Jude and the decisions that she made, because at that age, you do a lot of mistakes, but because you're just trying to figure it out where you are and who you are. And we also are shown disappointments, which I love, because again, disappointments are a really important important part of relationships and of life. So we do see kind of like the first time they get excited about a possible new love interest are disappointed in some point. And also we see the way they can shut themselves to the possibility of love, because again, they have a lot of disappointments. We see straight relationship and homosexual relationship, and it was just so simple and so beautiful that you understand it was just a human relationship. It talks about life in a way that a lot of us sometimes are afraid to show who we really are, and are afraid of what people could say, and we think it's easier to lie to everyone and lie to ourselves, and we put it into a mask and pretend to be someone that we are not. And they talk about this, and at the same time they try to deal with that problem. But it's so well done, because you're reading it and it gets you angry that they are not truly themselves, but you understand what they're doing it, because they're afraid. Because everyone had been afraid to show who they really are. And I think it's so important to people to read these books, just because they can identify with that and be like, yeah, I'm gonna just be myself, because what's the worst that could happen? I'm just gonna deal with it and be myself and love who I am and not pretend to be something I'm not. The characters are far away from perfect. They are not perfect at all, and I already said they're unique and they do weird things, but they also do things that are bad, and they are not justified, but they have a reason. And while reading this, you'll be like, my god, that's a horrible thing to do, and that's so selfish of them to do, or why would they lie, or why would they do, or why would they act like that, and it's just so horrible. But then you understand why they do it, because although their actions might be horrible, you understand them, and there's always a reason, and so there's always something behind it, and there's more than it meets the eye. This book really made me basically just realize that life is not perfect, and the relationship that people have with each other is not perfect. And although it could have a lot of love, and we can do mistakes, a lot of them. Although again, we love the person a lot, we can hurt them. And this book just make me realize that in life, there's not good or bad, there's not white and black, it's just life. There's always two sides of the story, and we have to understand the two sides, and we have to love and basically see the world beautiful as a piece of art, because and to forgive, and it's important to forgive ourselves too. So yeah, I love this book so much. 5 out of 5 stars, and I will totally recommend it. Love you guys, bye!